Hi, welcome to my three-part video series on hormone health. We're going to do 3 videos on different hormones that are very crucial and important for women's reproductive health as well as for your overall health. So today we're going to talk about progesterone. Progesterone is one of 3 major hormones that work in your body, and it's vitally important both for your reproductive health if you're trying to conceive as well as for your overall health. So today we're going to talk about 3 aspects of progesterone. First, why it's important in your body, especially if you're down this path of trying to conceive, what it means for you. For your reproductive health. Second, we're going to talk about if your progesterone levels are low, what that can mean for you along your journey of trying to conceive. And third, if your progesterone levels are low, I'm going to outline a few ways that you can work to increase your progesterone levels and raise your progesterone levels naturally and through supplementation. So that's a lot of ground we're going to cover today. I'm Stephanie Roth. I'm a fertility coach and consultant with YourFertileSelf.com, and I'm really excited to be with you today to talk about progesterone because this hormone is so very, very, very important for your journey of trying to conceive as well as for your overall health. So let's go ahead and get started. First, why is progesterone so important? As I said earlier, progesterone is one of 3 hormones kind of at work in your body. And your hormones, your menstrual cycle is just kind of all like a dance of your hormones, and they all work together and they all kind of have their own distinctive role. So the first part of your cycle, from the time that your period ends through ovulation, is dominated by the hormone estrogen. Estrogen helps your follicles to grow, it helps your eggs to mature, and it helps kind of facilitate that process of ovulation. I'm going to do another video specifically about estrogen. Today we're focused on progesterone, which is the hormone that is the dominant hormone in the back half of your cycle. So after ovulation, through the time that you get your next period is all dominated by progesterone. And so it's very important to look at your progesterone, especially if you're trying to get pregnant, because after ovulation, if you have achieved fertilization and your embryo is going to go implant into your uterus and therefore get you pregnant, your progesterone is playing a very, very key role in that process. So it's very important to keep an eye on your progesterone and kind of know what your progesterone is doing, because it helps to just facilitate that entire process of your embryo implanting in your uterus and achieving a pregnancy. So progesterone is very important. It's the dominant hormone in the second half of your cycle, or the second part of your cycle after ovulation. It helps to thicken the lining of your uterus, which is so important for healthy implantation. So progesterone is just it's very important to keep an eye on. So if your progesterone levels are low, then your lining in your uterus might not get thick enough for an embryo to implant and to achieve a pregnancy. Implantation just might not occur. And so it's very important to just make sure that your progesterone levels are adequate. And so you can get your progesterone levels measured through your blood work at a doctor's office 7 days after ovulation. It's been commonly known or commonly termed as the day 21 test. It's really not a day 21 test per se. You don't necessarily have to have it done on day 21 of your cycle. It's just been commonly called the day 21 cycle or day 21 test because it assumes that women ovulate on day 14, and 7 days after that would be day 21. But as we know, not everyone ovulates on day 14. We don't even ovulate on the same day of our cycle every month. What's more important to remember is to go and have a blood test 7 days after your ovulation. So if you ovulated on day 12, that could be day 19. If you ovulated on day 15, that could be day 22. Or if you ovulated on day 14, it would be day 21. So 7 days after ovulation, you go to the doctor, you get a blood test to measure your progesterone levels. And if your progesterone levels are high enough, that will confirm your ovulation, as well as, give your doctor, a snapshot of your overall post-ovulatory progesterone levels and make sure that they're high enough to facilitate that thickening of your uterine lining and implantation if you did achieve fertilization. So if you suspect that your progesterone levels might be low, here are a few signs. If you're charting your basal body temperatures, your post-ovulatory temperatures just might be a little bit low. That is a first sign that your progesterone level might be low. Progesterone, the hormone progesterone, causes heat to rise in your body. It causes your basal body temperature, your body temperatures to rise. Not in a significant enough way that you're like feeling hot all the time, but kind of on a more inward level. It is causing a shift in your body temperature that you would notice it in your basal body temperatures. So if your temperatures are just a little bit low, that could be a sign that your progesterone levels are low and you might want to go get them checked out. This is just yet another reason why I totally espouse and recommend basal body temperature charting. There's so much that you can learn about your body through charting your temperatures, and getting an insight into your progesterone situation is just one of those things. So I've made another video about basal body temperature charting. I urge you to go check that out, where I talk more about charting and how it can be beneficial for you to learn more about your overall reproductive health, your body, and as well as to help you pinpoint ovulation on your fertility journey. So low basal body temperature could be a sign that there might be something going on with your progesterone and that progesterone might be low. So if you're not charting your temperatures, get started with that. Another sign that your progesterone levels might be a little bit low is if your luteal phase is short. So again, to recap, your luteal phase is the time from ovulation through the time that you start your next period. This can range anywhere from 12 to 14 or 15 days. 14 is kind of the average for most women. This is a fixed period of time. It stays pretty constant from cycle to cycle. It's always going to be about 13 or 14 days, maybe 12 days. If your luteal phase routinely is below 10 days, that is considered a short luteal phase. The luteal phase is important. It's important that it be an adequate length because it gives your body time. If you did achieve fertilization, it gives your body time for your fertilized embryo to travel down from your fallopian tubes into your uterus and implant in the uterine lining and begin producing hormones for pregnancy. You need like a good 9 or 10 days for that to happen. So if your luteal phase is too short, you just wouldn't have enough time for successful implantation to occur. So it's very important to take a look at your luteal phase. And again, this is something that you can kind of get a handle on through charting your temperatures. If your luteal phase is low, again, doctors like to see it be at least 10 days. At least 12 days is preferred. So if your luteal phase, again, the time from ovulation till the time you start your next period, if it's dipping kind of below that 10-day mark, that could be a sign of lowered progesterone levels. So that's another kind of sign that you would want to go to a doctor and kind of get that checked out. So again, low basal body temperatures, shortened luteal phase, these are signs of potential issues with your progesterone and lowered progesterone levels. A third sign of lowered progesterone levels is if you typically see spotting before your period, either kind of like that reddish brown or brown spotting, you know, for a few days before your period comes. This is also a sign that there may be something going on with your progesterone. So if you regularly see that as a regular occurrence, you know, I encourage you to go to your doctor and speak with your doctor about your progesterone levels and maybe getting them tested again. And that's something you'd want to test, you know, 7 days after ovulation. So to recap, progesterone is one of the dominant hormones in a woman's cycle. Specifically, progesterone is the dominant hormone in the second phase of your cycle, i.e. after ovulation and before you get your period. It causes our temperatures inside our bodies to rise, and so it generates heat in our bodies, and it really facilitates thickening of our uterine lining and implantation of an embryo into the uterine lining to achieve pregnancy. So progesterone is very important. If you do find out that your progesterone levels are low, there are things that you can do to work on elevating your progesterone levels. And I have a few suggestions. There are things that you can do both naturally as well as through supplementation. So first of all, diet. You know me, I'm all about the diet. There are things that we can do in our diet to work on raising our progesterone levels. Specifically, we want to look at getting adequate amounts of vitamin C in our diet. So citrus fruits, you know, oranges, lemons, grapefruits. Citrus fruits are all very highly concentrated in vitamin C. So that can really go a long way towards helping us raise progesterone levels. Leafy green vegetables, so things like kale, collard greens, broccoli, those are all amazing sources of vitamin C in our diet. So if we just eat, you know, a well-balanced diet with lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, making sure that we're getting, you know, vitamin C through the citrus fruits and the leafy greens, that is just an amazing thing that we can do just right off the bat to take incredible care of ourselves and in making sure that we're getting good vitamin C in our diet and helping to raise our progesterone levels naturally. Second, essential oils. I had in my group on Facebook, Path to Your Fertile Self, I had a guest speaker a few months ago who's an essential oils expert who told an incredible story about raising her progesterone levels naturally simply through ingesting grapefruit essential oil. I think she said that she took 10 drops of grapefruit oil every day, and it raised her progesterone levels incredibly. So that's something else. If you're interested in essential oils, you know, if that's your thing, you know, that's something else that you can look into. Again, or you could just eat grapefruit. Like I said, it's a citrus fruit, and you know, that's already something that's recommended that you could do. But if you're interested in essential oils, you know, definitely ask your essential oils consultant about grapefruit oil and how it might be able to help you in raising your progesterone levels naturally. So those are some things naturally that you can do to raise progesterone. Again, diet is just incredible. You know, and I just sort of overall recommend, you know, living a healthy lifestyle, you know, lots of, you know, exercise, you know, just light exercise, you know, walking, yoga, you know, wonderful restorative exercise to just sort of keep an overall balance and flow in our bodies. You know, it just really goes a long way towards just helping us live a healthy life overall and can help with hormone balance in general. If you're interested in supplements, I would encourage you to speak with your doctor about Vitex or chasteberry. Vitex has been shown to help in hormone regulation overall, cycle regulation and hormone balance overall. It's not for everyone, so if you're interested in Vitex, it can have an enormous impact on raising your progesterone levels, and I would encourage you to speak with your doctor to see if that's a viable option for you. And finally, you can also look into progesterone creams or progesterone suppositories. So progesterone cream is something that you would apply topically, you know, every day under your armpits, your neck. You know, there's all kinds of places where you can apply the creams, and you would want to talk to your doctor about the best way to apply the creams. I don't have personal experience with them, but I know that they can help a lot of, you know, they have helped a lot of people. So that's something that you would apply topically, a progesterone cream. Or you can look into progesterone suppositories. These are like little pills that you would take vaginally after ovulation through your luteal phase until you get your period, or if you achieve a pregnancy, you would keep taking it. The fertility clinic where I was treated, you know, they prescribed progesterone suppositories to everyone as a matter of course, whether your progesterone levels were low or not. Again, just simply because it had so much benefit in helping to thicken the uterine lining and just really making sure that if you did achieve a pregnancy, you would have every possible chance of having successful implantation. So progesterone suppositories, again, they're just little pills that you take vaginally. If you take them, you want to make sure you wear a panty liner because they just do cause a lot of discharge. But other than that, there are no really major side effects from taking them. You know, it varies with everyone. I didn't really have any major side effects from taking progesterone suppositories, and I haven't really heard of others having major side effects either. So again, just to recap, progesterone is a crucial hormone, one of the big three, in working to, you know, in your reproductive health. Progesterone is the dominant hormone in the second phase of the second latter part of your cycle, from ovulation through when you get your next period. It causes an elevation of heat in your body and an elevation in body temperature. Again, not so that you're going to feel like hot all the time, but it does serve to raise that temperature and generate that extra heat in your body. And it facilitates the thickening of your uterine lining and the implantation of an embryo if you did succeed in achieving fertilization. So it's very important. If your lining is not thick enough, successful implantation and therefore pregnancy would not occur. Signs that your progesterone level might be a little bit low are if your basal body temperatures are low, if your luteal phase is short, and if you typically see, you know, reddish brown or brown spotting before your period. Those are all signs that you might want to speak with your doctor about having your progesterone levels checked. And again, you would do that through a blood test taken 7 days after ovulation to measure your progesterone levels. And if your progesterone levels are found to be low, you can work on raising them through diet. Citrus fruits and leafy green vegetables are awesome sources of vitamin C, which can help to raise your progesterone levels. Grapefruit essential oil is another option. And you can also look at supplementation through Vitex, chasteberry, or progesterone cream or suppositories. So I hope this has been helpful. As I said, I'm going to do other videos about the other big hormones, reproductive hormones that kind of are part of that cyclical dance of hormones in our monthly cycle. Today's focus was progesterone. I'd love to hear what I'd love to hear your comments. Leave a comment below. Please go grab my free ebook, 101 Ways to Boost Your Fertility. It includes suggestions for hormone balance and for progesterone specifically. I've posted a link below where you can go grab that. And I'd love to get in touch with you. Please feel free to comment below. Send me an email at stephanie@yourfertileself.com. Or you can join my free Facebook group, Path to Your Fertile Self, over on Facebook. Thanks so much for being with me today, and I look forward to chatting with you again sometime soon. Baby dust to you. Bye-bye.